Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe. Welcome to Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar. We are back from Omni Camping, guys. How was that, huh? Yeah, that was rocking, baby. Welcome, graduates. And hey, for you traders that learned in that room with me over those 4 days, we're going to create your own little chat room so that when you're in the premium room and you guys want to discuss some techniques that we've learned together, you can go off to your own room and you guys can discuss your techniques. So give us a few days, we'll have that for you. And thank you so much for coming. What a great time. I had a great time with you guys. All right, so onward. Rocktober, baby. We had a straight up September, and now we are in Rocktober. It's October 7th, 2009. This video is being filmed on the evening of October 6th for trading tomorrow. Wednesday, 2009, October 7th. And traders, we have a green Omni, which is not on my board, and that's it. I'm not doing anything until someone gives me a green Omni. I want a green Omni, otherwise I'm not finishing tonight's video. We're just going to hang out here, and that's it.
Coming soon.
Green Omni coming my way. We do have a green Omni. It'll be coming in any moment. Traders, flags. They are all over the U.S. indices, and they're bull flags. I would like to show you some of them, which I will do in charts in just a couple of moments in this video. Also, there is a lesson in head and shoulders in the sugar charts. Traders, before OmniCamp, leading into the week of OmniCamp, we talked about the head and shoulders in the sugar market. We talked about a head test very likely coming our way, and I put up a chart. And the market was sitting there in the head and shoulders within the right shoulder and getting ready to do something. So I drew where the head test level would be. And then I said, we should probably go up and test the head now. And if it fails, the sugar will break. So I want to show you what that chart looks like now from the head and shoulders as it was to the head and shoulders as it is now and whether or not it did do a head test. But the flags in the U.S. indices are what's so exciting. All I see is a green marker in your hand, man. What is going on here? A green marker only?
Your Omni drawer's been cleaned out.
Oh my goodness, someone cleaned out my Omni drawer. Who took my Omnis? Navigate! What am I going to do here?
That's your new Omni.
All right, I'll draw one. We have a green Omni in the indices for tomorrow. Thank you, Bob. All right. Traders, I think these flags are going to break out to the upside. They're not quite flags yet till we break out of them, right? So I believe history will record this moment as bull flags breaking out. So I want to show you those. I don't want to waste too much time here because these markets look interesting. I want to get back out there and do some analysis. But let's rock and roll, traders. Let's go look at some charts. Okay, traders, what we are looking at now is the NASDAQ December daily bar chart. NASDAQ, one of the leaders of late, is pulling the S&P and other indices higher. Traders, we had a little bit of a drawback, right? The last few days, the market went sideways and then down a little, but it held within this channel pretty smartly. A little bit of a pop underneath, never settled for more than 2 days below the bottom of this parallel channel and popped right back into it. And I think we're going to go higher because what you'll see in a few moments is there's a lot of little bull flags hanging out right here. Flag poles and flags, which are bullish. And I think we're going to end up with a bullish Rocktober. Let's see what happens. This has enough room, if in fact it gets back inside of that parallel, to end up all the way up here at some point. The possibility of breaking above 18 is very likely if we come out of that flag in the NASDAQ. So keep your eyes on it, traders. The important thing here is we stayed inside of this parallel channel even when we had that bit of a down move, and now we're back above it again and moving higher. Again, 2 days here, and it settled right at the line and went right back above. So I say it held. To me, that is a hold. And I like the upside in the NASDAQ, and if it is leading the other indices, obviously they will be right behind and go up with it. Now let's go take a look at what those bull flags look like on other indices. Okay, traders, looking forward, I believe that history will likely view this as a bull flag. I believe we are going to break out of this flag to the upside. This is the S&P December daily bar. Clearly you have your flagpole and your flag. Yes, we dropped out of this beautiful parallel channel, but I think it's going to get back in it, back above it, and work its way higher. We are day traders, and we have our stops in, and we're only looking for one trade at a time. But I think the trade here is bullish. I think we come out of this flag. If not now, eventually we will. And we're going to break out towards the upside. But something else that's very interesting, it's a lesson we've gone over and over again about the U.S. indices. And I've mentioned that the transportation average is our leader. Well, note the date right here, 9/23/09, traders. That was last week when we topped out in the S&P a week and a half ago. And then we started to break down, right? And the whole world went crazy bearish, and it's the end of the world, and I told you the double dip was coming, and everyone lost their minds. But meanwhile, all it did was make a bull flag, and I think we're going to get right back above it. But 9/23/09 is when we broke down, right? That was the high day, and then the break came. Well, the leader, being the transportation average, started to break down 5, maybe 6 days before this. And I'm going to show you that on a chart now. This very same day where the high got put in, wait till you see it on the transportation average, deemed the leader, because it was at least 5 to 6 days before the S&P finally started to break and follow it. Take a look at this trade as it truly shows you that the transportation average is leading the indices. Let's look at the chart. Okay, traders, you are looking at the Dow Jones Transportation Average daily bar chart. Another huge bull flag. Flagpole, flag clear to see. But here's the interesting thing. If you're not convinced that the transportation average is the leader, here is that very same day that it finally hit a top and started to break. That's 9/17/09. And the S&P, it was 9/23/09 when we put the high in and then began to break. So very interesting that the leader, 6 days before the S&P made its trading turn towards the downside, already started to go down, finished going down, and now is coming back up and is just about out of its bullish flag. Whereas the S&P is right there and maybe or maybe not will come out of it. So very interesting. If the transportation average ends up here in a day, I kid you not, you will see the S&P get right behind it and follow the leader. So great lesson there. 9/17 Dow Jones Transportation tops and cracks. 9/23, 6 days later, the S&P finally goes. Take a look at that for yourselves, traders. Now let's look at another chart here. Okay, traders, the German DAX daily bar, another bull flag. Yes, we broke out of the parallel trend, but I have a feeling we'll be right back in that trend very shortly. Again, we're day traders. If in fact, here, if we extend the parallel line out here, right? Let's say, that's part of this parallel, let's say we rally up and we hit it and break. Well, we're day traders. We found a day trade. We'll take it, and then we'll look for something else. So if in fact it hits that and turns around and drops, well, then we'll become bears again for a day or two. That's what day traders do. But for now, the signals are bullish. We're looking like we want to go higher. We're breaking out of a bull flag. And it's not just in the DAX. The indices around the world all look like this, traders. And get this. The technical indicators for the indices in the U.S. and around the world are all screaming bullish. And they're all basically at the lower end of their scales, just beginning to point up. So there we go, traders. The indices are looking bullish. They're in bull flags. Their indicators are bullish. An analyst can't do anything here that's day trading except for buy it and see if it does what it's supposed to do. Stay tuned, traders. I think we're going to end up with a bullish Rocktober. Let's see what happens. Okay, traders. Before we started setting up for Omni Camp a few days back, or maybe the beginning of last week, maybe the end of the week before, we put this chart before you and said, look, a head and shoulders in sugar. This is March 10 sugar daily bar chart. And we said this market looks like it's poised to test the head of the head and shoulders formation. And it was right here. And we said, boy, oh boy, it looks like it's going to run up and do a head test, hit the head and come back down, because that's what a head and shoulders does if it's a topping pattern. You put the head and shoulders in, you have a head test, it fails, and the market breaks. If in fact it does break and get back below here, then you have a bear market coming your way in the sugar. So we said, let's see if it's going for that head test, and we'll play around with it once it gets there. So here is what it looked like and what we were hoping to see. I'm going to move this chart over to the left and show you where it is right now. Okay, traders, this is an updated chart, a daily bar chart of March sugar, updated as of Rocktober 6th. And as you can see, exactly what is supposed to happen technically happened. We went up, we did a head test, and it started to head right back down, traders. That we called for before it happened. What a great lesson for you Omniacs who are following these videos, because here it is, you got to see a chart before it went, and we made the projection that it would at least do a head test, and if it fails in the head test area, you'll break. So far, that's what happened. Now, there's only one thing that we have to wait for, because this could actually be a little bull flag building up. These flags are everywhere. And if so, this will end up being a continuation pattern higher and not what we were expecting, which is a top and a drop. So very, very interesting area in sugar, traders. If it starts to break, it will certainly show us that it was a head and shoulders with a failed test of the head and a big breakdown. If in fact that's a bull flag, we'll go for another test of the head, get above it, and break out as a continuation pattern. The thing with head and shoulders is just that. You do not know if it's a topping pattern until after the head test and then the breakdown. If it's not a topping pattern, and keep this in mind, a head and shoulders in a bull market is simply a continuation pattern. So be careful not to call every head and shoulders a top. I think in bull markets, they're continuation patterns. If this is the end of the bull market in sugar, we will know shortly. So it's actually a spot where you sidestep it now and allow it to tell us what to do next. I hope this lesson helps you in the sugar market, traders. So, traders, you've seen those charts, and look, I found my Omni, and it's green. I'll see what's going to happen. I think we're going up again. Welcome to Rocktober. Rocktober's a scary month, right? But hey, if the analysis says it's going higher, the chart work says it's going higher, I don't have an opinion. I follow that. So my opinion comes off the charts, and they're looking for higher here, especially for tomorrow, for October 7th. So get ready for Wednesday's trading. Do your own homework. See if you can find those bull flags. Make sure your indicators are pointing up, and take a look at that sugar, traders, because boy, oh boy, if that's a top, we have a great couple of weeks of trading on the way down. And if it's not a top, if that turns out to be a continuation pattern, well, I haven't seen sugar this high in so long that if it gets higher than that head and shoulders, it's probably going to explode for quite some time. And as the US dollar drops, markets like sugar, markets like gold, markets like grains, they start to go higher. The CRB index starts to go higher. A lot of great action coming our way. I'm getting excited. We're going to have a great year trading, baby. All right, so let me get out of here. Let me go back to my analysis. Traders, give me a call anytime, Darren, at 702-629-4755. As always, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening. And you know what that is? Stops are in. Emotions are out. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided. That being said, I'm a 27-year seasoned trader on and off the trading floors. This is how I've made my living for many, many years.